Hello?
Hey, it's Ruben.
Hello. Hey, how you doing, Ruben?
Good, man. Good.
Yes. I know you were, I remember your story. You did carpet cleaning and then you hired people and then you were off the truck, right?
Yeah, I got off the truck for the most part 6 months into it, but you're always one step away from having to hop back in the truck.
Really?
Yeah, man. And 6 days and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And how did you keep from going out to the truck? And I remember hearing your story and you're like, oh, you weren't even that good at carpet cleaning, right?
No, I used to tell my customers, they would be like, Ruben, are you going to be the one that comes out and cleans my carpets? And I would always laugh and tell them, you don't want me to come out and clean them. You want my employees to come and do it. They're way better at this. They do it every day. So I was not very good at it. But to be honest with you, I started my business, and then 6 months later, I was out of the truck and I had 2 employees. Uh-huh. And then what ended up happening is that my wife lost her job and she got a new job in Seattle. So I had to move 2,000 miles away from my business to go be with her at her new job. And I had a couple of employees in place. And I just said, look, guys, I have to move away, but you guys are running this thing now. We're going to be in contact every day. Call me if something comes up. I'll keep running payroll. I'll make sure the jobs come in. I'll keep the schedule busy. And for almost 2 years, they ran the company without me even there. I lived in Seattle. My company was in Wisconsin. Wow. And it ran without me. I only moved back because one of those employees eventually got into like plumbing and changed his career. So I had to come back and
hire a new person.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you were relying on them and you trusted them? Like they were straightforward with you, and then they just ran it from the house, or you had like a garage, or how did you have?
We rented a garage space that had its own address, its own power, its own mailbox, all that stuff. So there was space enough in there for 2 vans. You could also clean rugs, and there was a little office space. It had water, power, all that stuff. Oh, so wow. They worked out of there. I put up Wi-Fi cameras, and I could see them pulling up and opening the garage doors and leaving every day to do jobs. They handled everything, though. They did the bank deposits. They washed the van every week. They kept the van clean. They dropped equipment off if it had to get repaired. They literally handled everything for me. Wow. And they grew my company. Like I went from, making, I don't know, $15K a month when I left to making about $25, $30K a month by the time I came back.
With one van?
Yeah. Those 2 guys, they crushed it. I actually ended up getting another van that we just left in the garage most days. But when they got busy, they would hop in 2 different vans and they'd go out and tackle more jobs. They do 6, 7 jobs in a day sometimes if that's how busy we were in the summer. But those 2 guys, man, they carried my company. I owe them everything. Hopefully they made a ton of money off tips. It looked like they made a few $100 a week off tips. So they should have been getting paid pretty well. But hire good people and anything's possible, man.
Can I ask you how did you pay the guy? Percentage or hourly?
I paid him hourly, actually. So they got hourly plus tips. And they worked in the summer probably about 40 to 45 hours a week most of the time. In the winter, they would work about 30 to 35 hours a week.
Okay. And their paycheck were nice? They were happy with their check? Like, were they getting like over $1,000 a week or something? Or
yeah, their actual payroll was probably not as much as it could have been, but they made it up in tips because I think they each took home about $200 to $300 a week in tips, plus whatever I paid them. So yeah, they were probably getting close to $800, $1,000 a week, especially during the summer, man. They were probably making more than that.
So if I pay someone like, more than $20 an hour? Everything's up now.
Yeah, you got to pay more than $20 an hour, I feel like, these days. Back then, I think I was paying $15 an hour plus tips, and I had some guys that were getting $18 an hour plus tips. But these days, I guess you'd probably have to pay more.
I know everything is up, and the prices for carpet cleaning is still similar, right? Can't charge that much either, right?
I've seen prices go up in the last couple of years, or maybe it's just the type of cleaning businesses I'm working with. Most of the clients I work with now have higher pricing, and so a lot of them are getting an average ticket of $350, $400.
Yeah,
which that's pretty good.
Too.
I used to only get an average ticket of about $300 back when I was running my business. I got guys now that do $400 or $500. I have a guy in Seattle that does $193. I think this month was his average. Wow. I was looking at it yesterday.
Wow. And you ran a truck now, or you ran portables?
We actually did VLM. We were 100% VLM company.
Oh.
Yeah. I know, like, a lot of the truck mount guys are like, no way, man. Believe it or not, we were the #1 carpet cleaner in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for 5 years doing nothing but VLM.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's all about how you treat your customers.
It was just bought it.
We used a high pH enzyme pretreatment, and then we would use a citrus-based cleaning solution that would neutralize the high pH enzyme, and then it would, what do you call it? See, I'm not even a good carpet cleaner. It was just like, to be honest with you, it was a franchise company, and so their chemicals are not available publicly, but you could do basically the same thing with chemicals from NCAP store. Damon, who runs that place, he sells all the same kind of stuff that we used to use, and you wouldn't have to buy a franchise then. You could just buy chemicals from Damon.
Wow. And what was it? What was the machine? Was it just like a buffer? What was it? No way.
Yeah. And then on stairs, we did the Auric Orbiter stair buffer. We would use that for all the steps. And then for upholstery, we had a separate upholstery unit that was a kind of a portable extractor, but was specifically made for upholstery.
Wow. So you did everything with VLM. That's insane. So I thought the whole time you were using like a truck mount. And the jobs were coming up good? People were happy with that?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. We posted before and after pictures everywhere. We had 300 plus reviews on Google by the time I sold my company.
Wow. That's crazy. So not a big investment. Wow.
Yeah. The biggest investment was buying the franchise, and I wouldn't do that again. I would just buy all the equipment myself and skip the franchise. The franchise was a waste of time.
Now listen, because I live in a very good market, very busy area. I want to make $1 million this year. I know it sounds crazy, but it can be done. Because if I do heavy market, do you think the only marketing I really need to do is just Google leads? Is that all I need, or should I do like Facebook and all this other stuff?
I wouldn't worry about Facebook until you've really mastered Google, and Google can take you most of the way there. I got a guy in Iowa who does $1 million a year, doesn't run any Facebook ads.
No way, really?
Only Google.
Yeah, you know what? It's true. It's just that when I'm out there running the truck, I'm not on top of getting back to the Google customer sometimes.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You got to get back to them quick.
Yeah, quick.
Like if you can respond to the leads in under 2 minutes, you're going to win 40 to 60% of the jobs. Some of my clients, they'll win 70, 80% of their leads just because they call them back so fast. But if you leave I had a guy this morning in San Diego who said he's on the truck today. One of his employees called out, and he's like, I can't call my leads back till after 2 o'clock. And I was like, dude, you might as well kiss those leads goodbye then. Like, they're not going to wait for you.
No. But how do you stay on top? Do they get like a bing on their phone or something?
We do an email notification. We can also set up a text notification if you'll register a phone number for texting. But the email notification and the Gmail app usually does it. About half of your leads are going to come in by phone call, though. So you'll just get a phone call. Yeah. And they're just people who, hey, I found you on Google. I'm looking to get my carpets clean. Can you give me a quote and tell me when you're available? About half the calls will just be people like that, and they're pretty much ready to book. The other half will come in through I'm looking at the lead form on your site and the chat widget that you have.
Is a website even like really that necessary?
Yeah, it is mostly because if you're going to run ads on Google, you got to have a really strong website to send those ads. So we usually, if I'm going to work with somebody, we're going to do both their website and we're going to run the ads for them. They go together. If you only do one of those two things, you're not going to get results. You got to do both together. If you're looking to switch away from this website, we could certainly help you do that. But there's a couple of things on here I like that we would want to keep. All the leads that you get through these forms and through this chat widget right here, I definitely want to put those into a CRM and put it into an app so that you have access to all the leads and work from your ads.
How do you do that, though? You got to get access to the website?
We would just build you a new site and then hook up a CRM to it and give you access to the CRM. What happens a lot of times is, like, we work with carpet cleaners or house cleaners that they've worked with other agencies in the past. So they already have a website, but maybe they don't like the website or something went wrong with their agency. So they're coming to us and looking for help. And they usually need us to rebuild a new website for them, but they don't want to take down their old website yet. We'll build your new website on basically a preview server where we can show you the site and you can look at it, review it, test it out, make sure it looks the way you want. And then once you've approved it, then we just point your domain name, the website address, we just point that at the new website and we swap it out instantly. We don't have to take your old website down and then wait to put up a new one. We just build a new site. And once you approve it, we swap it over.
So tell me, because like I said, I want to get to $1 million this year. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but it's definitely doable because think about it. Let's say I have three crews. If you market a lot, if you put a lot of Google ads out, I bet you the schedule could be full, right? And if each truck makes, say, 1,000 a day, I'm thinking times 300, that could be like 900,000 gross, right?
Yeah,
So
it's not going to happen
doable.
instantly, but we've got clients who are scaling up to that right now. It's going to take some ad spend, obviously. It depends on where you're starting at, but I would say if you're trying to get one truck busy, start with $1,500 a month on Google Ads and kind of work your way up from there until you're busy. $1,500 might be enough, or you might have to raise it to $2,000 a month at $2,500. But once you figure out if I spend $2,500 on ads, I'm going to make $7 to $10 grand easily from that. Once you figure out those numbers, all it takes to scale up to a couple of trucks is to just slowly add to your budget. Make sure that your website is converting all that traffic into leads so that you're not just wasting budget on Google and you're actually getting leads and phone calls for it. And then increase your budget, start hiring, get another truck on the road, and then do the same thing when you want to get a third truck. So it might take you, it's not going to happen in a month, but I got a guy who started with us in September of last year, and I think he added a second truck in May of this year or June of this year. It didn't take him very long.
Wow, because I have the clientele, I have the customers. We have a lot of commercial jobs. I have a lot of my own customers too. So it's just going to be off of Google. Like I think that combination, it's just a matter of
that helps. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of me finding the right person. The thing is, how do you select the right person? And you had the other person as an assistant, right? The assistant, you were paying him the same money as the lead technician, or they were getting even money, or was the assistant getting less because he wasn't driving, or was it just?
I didn't really have assistants so much. What ended up happening most of the time is that I had one technician who had been with me for longer. And so basically what I did is when you start working for me, I paid you, let's say, $14 an hour. And that was your pay for the first 30 days. And after the first 30 days, if you successfully complete training, then I give you a $1 an hour raise. So you'll go from $14 an hour to $15 an hour, which isn't supposed to be like a big bump. It's just supposed to be like a feel good. You've made it through training. You're an official carpet cleaning technician here now. You make $15 an hour. And then I would give them raises every year just to bump their pay up, which is how I ended up with people making $18 an hour because they've been with me for a little while. But then I would match up. Anytime I had a new employee start, they would go ride with an employee who's already out of training and is already making at least $15 an hour. But it only took 30 days for the new employee to get trained up, and then they were a full technician. We didn't have assistant technicians for longer than 30 days. Once you were 30 days into the job, you were trained and you were a full technician. At that point, as long as you had your driver's license, my expectation was if I need to send you out to do a small job by yourself, you can do it by yourself. But most of the time, I'm going to send two people out in a van and have them do the jobs together all day because we can do bigger jobs like that and get bigger tickets and get the jobs done quicker. So two guys in a van can easily do $1,000 a day, if not $1,200.
And there would be two machines. Let's say the house is big.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, one guy would be vacuuming while the other person starts pre-treating. And then one person would clean the rooms or the hallways, and then the other person would clean the stairs. So they'd split up the stairs and the rooms. And then at the end, we'd have one person raking out and grooming the carpet as the final step, and the other person would start packing up the van and ringing up the customer so that they could just finish raking the carpet, grab the payment, ask for a review, and head out. And with that kind of setup, we could do pretty much any job, any residential job, in under about 90 minutes. If it was a really big job, it might take 2 hours, but we could do 3-4 jobs a day for about $300 a piece in about 90 minutes. 90 minutes a job.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
That's good. And all came from the Google lead.
I had Google reviews, so a lot of people just found us on Google because of the reviews. We had some recommendations on Nextdoor because when you serve 1,000 new customers a year, you're going to get people recommending you on Nextdoor or Facebook or other places. So we ended up getting customers from other places. We also had Yelp reviews. People would call us off of Yelp, but I never spent money on Yelp ads.
No.
Google ads, that was the only ad budget we really spent, just Google ads.
Wow. Yeah, because I think my main thing right now is to get a technician. I just have one assistant, and you had to get like workers' comp and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, and that was expensive, but the thing with the workers' comp is like there's usually an expensive upfront payment, and then it costs less money after that. If you go through a payroll service like gusto.com, Gusto, if you go through something like that, a lot of times you can set up workers' comp on a monthly pay basis, and you can save a lot of money that way.
Oh, okay. And what about like an employee handbook? Did you have certain rules, procedures, everything to follow? Or like when you hired them, did you have them like sign off a lot of stuff, like a lot of legal things, or you just hire them and just explain as you go along?
For the first 3 years I was in business, I didn't have any of that stuff. I just hired and then took them out to the jobs and trained them hands-on. By about year 4 and year 5, I was having to do a lot more hiring, and we were starting to grow a little bit more. So I had to put all that stuff in place. I made an employee handbook, but what I actually made first, before I did anything else, I created a mission statement, which was just to provide customers with the best carpet cleaning experience they've ever had. And then I made a checklist of everything you would do on a job, starting with introducing yourself, doing a walkthrough inspection, vacuuming the carpet, vacuuming the edges of the room, vacuuming the stairs, spraying pre-treatment, spraying cleaning solution, running the floor buffer, running the stair buffer, raking the carpet, taking payment, applying stain protector.
Like that.
I had this, yeah, it was all those things. Yeah, I put them all on a checklist on one page, and then I put the mission, I put a spot at the top to write the customer's name, the date, and then I had that whole checklist, and I had my employees for the first 30 days you were on the job with me. If you're a new employee, you filled out one of these checklists for every single job that you did for 30 days. And you'd have a big fat stack of them at the end of 30 days because we did so many jobs. But you would fill out the checklist and write your name, your initials next to every one of the things that you did personally. And then if you were training, even if you were my existing employee, you've been with me 3 years, if you had somebody new riding in the van with you, you also filled out the checklist with them. So the 2 guys filled it out together, wrote their name next to every single thing they did. And then at the bottom, it says, our mission is to provide customers with the best carpet cleaning experience they've ever had. Do you feel we accomplished that mission? Yes or no? And they would check yes or no, and then sign their name on it. Wow. That's all I had them do. That was the whole training program. Fill out a checklist for every job for 30 days so that they understood if you do all these things, and if you feel like you met the mission and helped give the customer a good experience and you're willing to sign your name to that, then you'll see after 30 days that we get a bunch of reviews, you get a bunch of tips, we get more customers, and the business keeps growing.
And did you give them a bonus for that? If you got reviews or something like that? No.
Yeah, we eventually added a bonus for reviews.
What about, you think I need like a virtual assistant to run my office or keep things in order, or I don't know, or like a dispatcher, or I don't know. Or if I hired the technician now, because I have one other person, so if I hire a technician, send them out to do the jobs, and then what do? I call customers, I keep the schedule busy, like I stay on top of that, right?
I don't really recommend hiring office staff right away. I recommend hiring field technicians, like people to go out and do the cleaning. And then that should free you up to answer all the phones, to respond to all the leads, and to go out and do commercial bids and try to win up commercial jobs.
Oh, okay. While the one crew is out there.
Yep.
Okay. And then set my expectations, like, hey, we need to make at least $1,000 a day, like pretty much. That's what our minimum almost is, right? To make it worth it.
Yeah. Our minimum was like $600 or $700 when it came down to it, but we would average about $1,000 to $1,100 a day. I think actually when I averaged it out, it was like $1,112 a day or something like that on average.
$1,100. So say $1,100, and you pay between the both of them around $300, right?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, so but that's still good. And then your expenses, but still,
it was a good business.
That's good, because you know what? I want to make like double or triple what I been doing like these last couple of years. So it could be done. It's just you got to have a system in place. But besides anything else that helped you along, like a good CRM? What was your CRM that you used? Was it House Call? Was it like a job?
Yeah, it was House Call.
House Call.
I did everything on House Call back then.
And it was good. House Call was good.
Yeah, it was great. The only thing I regretted is that when I sold my business, I couldn't give my House Call Pro account to the new owner. He had to start his own account, and we had to transfer all the customers over. But I couldn't transfer all the old data over to him.
Really? Why not? That's weird.
Because the account is tied to your social security number. So when you go to you can't give the account to somebody else because they can't accept payments through that account. And so they have to set up a new House Call Pro account. So that was a pain in the ass. But we worked it out. I was able to just download my customer list, download all my sales for the previous years, and just give him a bunch of reports. And then House Call basically took my customer list and uploaded it to his new account when he took over the business. So it all worked out. But that was like the only big pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. But pretty much, yeah, if I do this right, let's say I get the good amount of leads, I have the technicians. If I have 2 vehicles running, that's when I start making the profit, right? Because one is not enough, right? Or
yeah, if you're in the van, you'll make more profit. Once you get out of the van, if you only have 1 truck on the road, there's not usually a lot of profit left over. You really want to get to 2 vans as quickly as you can.
And then possibly lease the van. Did you buy your van straight out, or you leased it?
I bought them. If I was going to do it all again, I might lease them, to be honest with you. But I didn't know if this business was going to work when I started it. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anything about carpet cleaning. I didn't have any experience like a local home service business. I'd never done anything like that. So I had a lot of doubt. I didn't want to get into an expensive lease payment. I think I spent $17,000 on my first van, and then my wrap cost me like another $2,000. So I didn't spend a lot of money on the van. But if I was doing it now, I'd probably lease one and get a wrap and all that stuff from day one. But only because if I started a carpet cleaning business today, I know exactly what to do. I help clients go from 0 to 20K a month every month. So
really? Wow.
Yeah. So if I was going to do it again, I'd probably just lease a nicer van, a newer van, and then get a wrap on it right away.
And when you wrap it, right, then it's hard to remove, right? Because in 2 years you got to take it off, right? Or if you give the van back.
Yeah, but you could buy the van out at the end of the 2-year agreement if you want, or at the end of the 3-year agreement.
Let's say we did $1,500 worth of ads. What would the difference be of you doing it or me doing it myself? What would make it more beneficial with you?
I would not recommend running Google ads yourself. No. If you want to get set up with Google Guaranteed and just do the local services ads program, you can do that yourself. That one's pretty easy. You just submit a background check to Google and send them a copy of your insurance document, and then you can get calls from Google. But if you start running the other Google ads, the Google search campaigns, there's so much going on inside of Google ads, and they change everything so often that unless you're going to spend a lot of your time figuring out how to become a Google ads manager, which is something like a lot of people do that for a living. It's a full-time job for people. I wouldn't recommend it because you're going to lose focus on what's most important in your business. You're not running a Google ads business. You're running a carpet cleaning business. And if you have time available, it would be better spent to do something like go out and prospect for a commercial client, go talk to a property manager, go train your employees or go hire more employees or, something like that. I think managing your own ads would be a waste of time. I know cleaners who do it. I think that they're wasting their time, and I watch them sit and run their same little business forever with one van, running their own ads, and they're never going to grow it. Your business will grow bigger once you start trusting other people and getting other people involved by hiring or by working with the right partners like marketing agencies. That's when your business will start to grow. You got to get other people involved.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, that's right. Because, there's a certain limit, and also fatigue that kicks in because you got to do physical work, you got to call.
I want to drive so many results for you that your phone is ringing, you're booking jobs, and the last thing on your mind would be, boy, I better go check on Google ads today. I want to be the kind of guy that is just driving results for you, and if you have a question, you can call and ask us or whatever, but you shouldn't feel like you need to run your own ads. You should feel like you're just getting results and you can focus on growing the business.
Now, did you know, I signed up to Angie's ads, and they signed me up. It was like $300 a month, and it's whatever leads come in. But actually, they're pretty quality leads, and it's you get their number, you get everything, and it's like maybe you don't land all of them, but you're not going to lose the $300 you paid. Like it's pretty consistent, I gotta say. So I just signed up with that, and then Thumbtack too. Thumbtack's been okay too. So I think
I used Thumbtack when I was first starting up my business, but the cost went up eventually. Yeah. And then once I figured out Google Ads, I stopped using Thumbtack. I didn't need it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? The Google Ads where we live, it's expensive. $35 a lead now.
But if you're booking at least 40 to 60% of those leads into a paid job, and then you're getting at least a $300 average ticket, you should be making a pretty damn good return on those. And that's a first-time visit. 35% of people will call you back again next year. You might get a referral. You might get a review. But if you're paying $35 a lead and booking 1 out of 2 leads or 1 out of 3 leads, you should still be making good money with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then you were talking about, I remember several years ago I put something out in Indeed, and it was like the responses weren't as heavy as they are now. Like, I can't believe how many people responded to this. Before it was just a few. It was like
that's interesting. A lot of people looking for work in your area.
I guess, because I remember in the past I used to put it out. I'm talking about 3 years ago, 4 years, maybe a little more than that. And it was like here and there. It was like a handful. It wasn't like what it is today. I open up my page and I don't even know where to begin. So what did you do? Should I even shut it down for now?
When I was running Indeed sponsored job placements,
yeah, that's what
the market was a little different back then. I guess a lot of people were looking for work because I would run Indeed sponsored listings and I would get about the same results. I'd run the ad for 7 days and I'd get like 100, 115 people applying for my job. So what I did is every time somebody applied for the job, I had a template message saved inside of Indeed where I could send them a message and say, hey, it's Ruben at Heaven's Best Carpet Cleaning. I saw that you applied for my job for the carpet cleaning technician. I'd love to chat with you about the opportunity, but first, please give me a call at this number and leave me a voicemail letting me know why you want the job. Or another one I used to use is leave me a voicemail and tell me about a recent customer service experience that you had, whether it was good or bad. Could be at a store or something else. Just tell me about an experience you had so that I know you're a real person. And then I would just wait. And I would send that message to all 100 people that applied for the job. And then eventually my phone would start ringing. And I'd probably only get 5 to 10 people who would actually leave me a voicemail. Out of 100 applicants, I might only get 5 to 10 people who would actually call me. Because the rest of those people are they're either not really that interested in the job, they're applying for jobs so that they can show the unemployment office that they're applying for jobs and they can get their check this week.
Right.
Or there's just all these other reasons why they might apply and then not follow up. But you're looking for people who actually want to work. If they're willing to pick up the phone and leave you a voicemail, that's a pretty motivated person in this day and age. A lot of people aren't willing to pick up the phone. So that's how I did it. That's how I narrowed it down quickly from 100 applicants down to 5 to 10. And I would schedule a phone interview with each of those people. I would just call them back and say, hey, it's Ruben. I got your message. Do you have 5 minutes to just chat really quick? And then if this sounds like something you would want to do, I'd love to meet you in person for a quick in-person interview. And then I'll make you an offer if you want to get started. So I just narrowed them down that way. That's how I did it.
And then how would you, if they're going to work out or not? Because like sometimes, okay, let's say you put the guy on payroll, you register him, all that, right? Mm-hmm. You see he's not really cut out to be a carpet cleaner. He's kind of slow, or you know what I mean? He's not really into it. Like,
so it was a pain.
Everyone acts their best at their interview. Everyone acts their best the first day.
You'd be surprised. No, you'd be surprised. A lot of people show up to the interview in a bad mood, or they ghost. They don't show up to the interview at all. And so they'll weed themselves out. Of the people who actually show up, I just look for personality. If you have a good personality and you seem like you're in a good mood and you're open to doing a job, then I'll give you a shot. I hired them for a week at first, and I would get everything I needed to put them on payroll. But the one thing I would not do is I didn't add them to our car insurance, our auto insurance policy yet. I would wait until they made it through their first week before I did that.
Oh, but since day one, you put them on payroll, official payroll?
I wanted taxes taken out, everything.
And then let's say they didn't work out. You say, hey, we fire them. What do you do? Because let's say they're just not the one. Like, how do you let them go? How do you say, I don't know, have you fired people? Have you said, hey, no, we can't work here?
Yeah. I've had people that they stood there and texted on their phone all day during the job. And I used to go to those jobs and check in on my new employees and see how they were doing. And if I noticed that kind of shit, I would say something to them. And if I came to the next job and they were doing it again, I'd say something again. And then we'd have a conversation at the end of the day about, look, man, this is a customer service job. Our customers don't want to see you staring at your phone, standing in their living room, not doing anything. They're paying you to do the job. If that's not something you can do for me, this is not going to be the place for you. That was like the most common thing that would happen. But honestly, a lot of people, they would show up, they would work for me for the first week. And if it wasn't the right fit for them, they would just quit. Oh. I had one guy quit at lunchtime the first day because he cleaned carpets at one job and he was like, I don't want to do this. And he just quit.
Yeah. Okay. But I shouldn't take somebody on for, hey, I'm going to try you out, see how you are for no money or something like that?
You can, but it's just I wanted it on the books because I'm paying them money. I want to get my tax benefit for having paid them that money. I want all those write-offs. So I just paid them through payroll. Plus, if you can't give me a driver's license, if you can't pass a background check, and if you can't get added to my payroll and give me a bank account where I can pay you, then your life is not organized enough to be a good employee here. If you can't get through those basic hurdles, then you're probably not going to work out.
And you would do a background check on them right away?
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing I did. Background check on everybody.
And you have an account with the company or you just have a website?
No, we do one of the websites. I don't remember which one we used to use, but it was like $30 or $35 for a background check, just a basic criminal background check.
Uh-huh. And that's important to do, right? Because you don't know who's coming through your door, right? But nowadays, so many people I think most people who would try out for a job like this, they probably have some shady past, don't they?
Some of them, and they'll usually just tell you up front what the deal is. So once you say, I'm going to run a background check, they'll just tell you, hey, man, I have a DUI, or hey, man, I have this thing, and here's what happened. And you can decide then, it's your company, if you want to give people second chances and you want to be the guy who helps give people a chance to walk away from their past and grow up a little bit, you can do that, man. That's what I used to do because, man, when I was in my early 20s, I was a mess. I drank, I partied with my friends, I was irresponsible. So I've been in their shoes before, and I'll give people a chance. If they tell me they want a chance, I'll give them a shot. I can't hire people who've murdered somebody.
That's some violent thing or robbery or something.
Yeah, robbery, nothing like that. No.
Yeah,
but like a DUI or something, maybe.
Yeah,
Depends on if the DUI though might impact your car, the commercial auto insurance. So be careful with that one.
Yeah. No, but you know what? So it would be a red flag for me. Like I had one guy who wanted to work for me. He's 33 years old, and I was like, "So you have a license?" He's like, "Oh, I'm still working on it." I'm like, "What? Yeah. What are you waiting for?" 33. Right. I got mine when I was 17. Come on. So like, how are you gonna drive a vehicle? Like you, and then would you hire like a 20-year-old guy with no driving experience? I don't know.
I have, and it's mostly worked out. Yeah. We had a couple incidents with the van where they would like back into something or just little things like that. But that happens when you're doing 1,000 jobs a year over 5 years. Some shit's gonna happen.
Yeah. What about monitoring the van? Would you put a camera inside there? Or like how would you know where the van is?
You can do vehicle tracking. My client Robert here in Seattle, he does vehicle tracking on his. But I never did any of that. We asked for a review from every single client automatically. So if my employees were screwing up, I was going to hear about it from the clients. And then I had cameras at the office, so I knew what time they showed up every morning. They clocked in on the iPad, so I knew what time they clocked in. And then I knew what time they clocked out, and I knew when they left. Just from checking the Wi-Fi cameras, the timesheet, and customer reviews, everybody knows they're being somewhat monitored, and they show up and do their job every day. And that was only because I didn't live in Wisconsin anymore. I needed to be able to make sure that if I looked at the camera one morning and both the vans were sitting there and nobody showed up to work and no carpets were getting cleaned that day, then we got a problem.
Right. But each van, so you had two vans, but two workers, they didn't go out as a team?
Most of the time I had two workers and they'd share one van. If they got really busy, they'd split up into two vans during the day and just tackle more jobs. Eventually I got to where I had 4 or 5 people, probably 3 or 4 full-timers and then the part-timer, and they would split up in the two vans during the summer when we were really busy.
Oh, okay. And it was okay. It was easy to find the part-timers, like you get some like local guys. Yeah, they just look at, because I think sometimes the work is a little overload, like because we do jobs with portables and it's like it's a little heavier to, lift up equipment and all that. So I need to have maybe more people.
It helps to have 2 guys in the truck.
2 guys,
honestly.
Yeah.
You can get a lot more jobs done that way.
It's just that I have to have a system in place so like guys aren't wasting time and they're being efficient, like setting up the equipment, all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it's true. Like it's like what you did. You had the list, the checklist to go down the list. That's good though. Like it's like you were like holding them up to standard, like, oh, so did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? And they have to check and sign off on it. So it's like their word. So you had them sign off. So they didn't you don't think they just checked it off without without looking at it? Like, okay, I'm just going to check every one of them and sign off, or did they really go through with it? Like, how do you know? How do you know?
I mean, for one, it was only for the first 30 days.
Uh-huh.
And if you weren't willing to fill out a checklist for me in the first 30 days, and I had guys who would do this. They'd come back from their first day of work and they hadn't filled out any checklists. So the very first day, if you didn't fill out your checklist, I didn't let you clock out until you stood there and filled out a checklist for every job you did that day. And then my technician who's been there for longer, I'd look at him and say, hey man, you're going to have to stay here and fill out this checklist with him. Tomorrow, don't forget to fill out your checklist. But from day one.
But the checklist didn't have any details, just checklists, just like a bunch of checks, or like you have to write what
they had to write their initials next to each one of the items that they did. So if they vacuumed the edges, they initialed their names next to that. If they sprayed the chemical, they put their name next to that. And then the other guy would do the same thing. Maybe he carried in the equipment. Maybe he raked the carpet afterwards. Maybe he took payment. But they would write their initials next to each of the things they did, so they were filling the worksheet out together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, I just made them do it day one. If you come back empty-handed, you got to fill out your worksheets or you're not coming back tomorrow. You got to do the checklist.
That's good.
People thought I was nuts. Like I had an employee quit after 1 week, and he was like, I don't want to fill out the checklists. I don't care about your Google reviews. I'm not, like, he was like, all you care about is money. And I was like, dude, this is a business. All I care about is that the customers get served this week, you know? Yeah. But if you make a simple system and stick with it and just tell people this is what I expect, you only have to do this for 30 days, they'll do it. If they want their job, they'll do it.
Yeah. Because you know what we started doing? We started like putting a red carpet out in front of the doors. So like people see like we respect their home. So like we're not bringing soiled shoes in, like small things like that. So I think, you know, how you present yourself, but
put it on the checklist.
Yeah. Oh, put that on the checklist, right?
Put it on the checklist. We had a mat, a microfiber mat that we put at the front step, and we wiped our feet off. And that's where if we brought in equipment, we set up a little area where we could bring it in, clean off the wheels on the bottom of the equipment so we weren't dragging in snow or mud or anything like that. It was on the checklist. Put the mat down.
Yeah. Have you ever bribed your customers like for a referral, or like, for example, because I'm thinking, like, because, you know, we live in an area where they have a lot of high-rise luxury buildings. So I'm thinking, for example, let's say a doorman recommends a customer, and we want to reward the person by Zelle, say $20 or something like that. Have you ever thought of something like that, like a referral program, but with some incentive, like a money incentive?
I never did it at my company, but I've had clients do referral programs where if you refer 2 or 3 more people to me, then your cleaning is free, basically. Like you'll get $50 per referral or something like that, or a $50 discount. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I've had clients do referral programs, though. It's definitely worth looking into. Yeah,
because I think sometimes if you bribe them, okay. So tell me how you would help me. What do I need to have at first in place? Should I have the employee? Should I hire my technician first? Because, like I said, if I'm doing this all on my own, and actually I'm at the point, like I said, I just turned 54. I don't want to be going out there cleaning carpets.
Honestly, what I recommend, if you're going to hire, don't half-ass it. Because the second you hire somebody, you're going to be responsible for providing them with hours and jobs and everything. And if you got a bunch of jobs coming in right now, then you might be already comfortable with that. You might feel like, okay, cool, I can already give them a bunch of hours. But if not, then you're going to be scrambling to try to fill the schedule. And when you start up a new campaign with me, first of all, it's going to take at least probably a week for me to get your ads turned on and maybe for your first calls to start coming in. So it's not going to be like you hire me, you pay me on a Friday, and your phone's going to start ringing that night. It'll probably take a week for us to get the launch call scheduled, for me to build your ad account. If we're doing a website and everything else, it's probably going to take at least 2 weeks because we got to build you a website before we can start running your ads. So if you're going to hire, plan for that. There's going to be a startup time to get the website and the ads together, but we do it really fast. You know, we try to get, if we're building you a website and ads, we try to get most of that set up in 2 weeks so that we can start driving phone calls for you. But once the phone starts ringing, how much it rings is dependent on your budget. And if you're starting small because you want to test it and see if this is going to work or not, then
I know it works.
Yeah, it's probably not going to make the phone ring as much as you need, and then your employee is going to be starving for hours. I would put a healthy budget towards it right away.
Yeah, Google is like hungry for money, right? So like the more you give them, the more jobs they'll get you, right? That's how it goes, right? Like
pretty much, yeah. But it's pretty predictable too. I run these ads for cleaners all over the country. So if you spend $50 a day on Google Ads, which is like $1,500 a month, you're going to get probably 5 to 10 people a day clicking on your ad, coming to your website. Some percentage of those people are going to call you and fill out your forms on your site and request a quote. So you're going to start to get leads right away. $1,500 a month can bring people in pretty quickly, can make your phone ring a lot more than it was before. And I'd say most of our clients usually get about a 2 or a 3 to 1 return on a brand new campaign in the first 90 days. So you should make your money back pretty quick too. But after that, after the first 90 days, I see people's ROI usually go up to somewhere between 4 to 1, 5 to 1, or 6 to 1. I've got some guys who are making more than that, but a lot of times they start to schedule their budgets up too, or scale their budgets up. So if you're spending $1,500 a month on Google Ads, and that's not filling up your schedule enough for one van, you might raise it to $2,500 a month. And then once your one van starts to get filled up, you'll get a second van going, and you'll say, all right, I want to raise my budget again because now I want to get 2 vans on the road. And I've got some guys who are spending $7,000 to $10,000 a month on Google Ads right now to keep a couple vans on the road, busy, doing between $40,000 and $100,000 a month with their business.
Wow. With how many vans? How many
2 to 3, most of them. I got a couple guys who have more than that, but a lot of them are doing like 2 to 3 vans on the road pretty much full time.
Wow. And they're doing mostly carpet, or are they doing upholstery? They're doing
carpet, upholstery, tile and grout, some hardwood, some area rug cleaning. And then usually once they get 2 carpet cleaning vans on the road, a lot of times they start getting interested in other services. So I've got some guys that do air duct cleaning, window washing, even like holiday light installation, stuff like that.
What about power wash? Because I know power washing, that's a whole other business, right?
Yeah, we do pressure washing.
Okay. Because what about, you know what? My most profitable and easiest job to do is area rug cleaning, like Oriental rug cleaning, which we take out and actually send it out to a shop where they do it all. They charge me $1.50 a square foot, and I charge them $5 a square foot, and it comes out excellent. So do you think there's a market for that? If you just advertise for that? Because that's actually, like I said, it's easier to do. Like I could just, let's say I have a van going out, I have another small vehicle, I could go pick up area rugs and send it to that shop. Like, that could really double my income right there.
Yeah, I did a bunch of area rug cleaning when I had my company. I've got a shop in different. Actually, he's got 2 different shops, but they sell rugs out of both of their shops. All we do is run Oriental rug cleaning ads for them. We've been doing that for, I think, 4 years.
Really? That's also they do and they get a ton. They get a ton.
They get a ton of leads. They get a ton of leads.
And what about a script? So do you recommend a script? Let's say someone calls up, like because some people use scripts to answer the phone the same way, say the same things, or do you just freestyle it?
A script would be helpful. Yeah, it's whatever you can do to try to increase your booking rate, but we'll work with you on that stuff if you hire us.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think I should hire the worker first, or both, or like something like that? Because
it's completely up to you. If I were you, I would probably start the marketing, and I would try to get my schedule filled up, and then start looking to hire once you get jobs booked.
Okay. And what? So let's say there's 1,500 budget. Actually, I think I was paying even more at one point, but I think I was losing a lot because the leads. Yeah, I need something that's going to capture the leads. So is there a CRM or something, or is there like a app out there that could capture, for example, Angie's leads, Thumbtack, and Google leads all at once? So let's say a new lead comes in, it'll show the status. Oh, if you called them, if you booked a job, if you lost a job, things like that. Is there an app to use for that?
I have a CRM that we include for all of our clients, but it's not going to automatically pull in leads from Angie or Yelp or Thumbtack. It'll only pull in the leads from Google and from your website.
Oh, I see. Oh, just from that. Okay.
Yeah. You could manually input the leads from Angie or Thumbtack if you wanted to, but all the leads that come through your website or from Google Ads, they'll all get put into this CRM.
I see. Okay. But are you okay? So you drive the customers to me by what? How do you drive them? By like your Google AdWords?
So with Google Ads, basically all we do is we target people who are searching for a carpet cleaner, carpet cleaning service, carpet cleaning company, carpet cleaner near me, anything like that on Google. And we show them your ad, and then we try to get them to click on your ad and either call you or come to your website to request a quote.
Do you call the leads too, or no?
Nope. No, that would be your part of the deal. So if we're going to run ads for you and have leads coming in, then, we need you to call the leads back as quickly as possible in 2 to 5 minutes, if possible. Book the jobs as quickly as you can, get the highest average ticket that you can, and try to get the highest ROI possible. We don't answer the calls or book the jobs for you. We just drive the customers to you. This is probably how it would look in the first month or two. But I usually tell people do this for 3 months, for 90 days. By the end of 90 days, you're going to be getting more leads. You're going to be booking more jobs, and you're going to be getting a better ROI than in the first 30 days when you first started out. So do it for 90 days and look at how things are going at day 90. And then when you keep doing this long term, your ROI is usually going to go up. So I have people that start out getting a 2 or a 3 to 1 ROI in the first 2 or 3 months. But when they've done this for 6 months or a year, they end up getting a 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1. I have a guy who gets like a 10 to 1 ROI.
Yeah.
So it's a long-term investment, but the idea is that you're going to book enough jobs and make your money back quickly enough that you're going to have a positive ROI campaign from day one. Hey, listen, I got to get running actually.
Yeah.
But dude, if this is something you ever want to try out, you got my number.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out and let me know.
And it's just month to month, right? It's a month to month.
Yeah, it's month to month. Yeah, it's month to month. I'm confident in my results.
Yeah.
So when I bring on clients, we get them results quickly and they stay with us. I had 100% retention rate with our clients last month.
That's amazing. All right, that's good. You know what? This weekend, I'm going to scope for the worker. Once I get that, I want to get back to you and we could start this thing because I think I need that with the website. I think that sounds good.
We'll just take care of all of it for you. We'll do the website. We'll do the ads. So whenever you want to get started, I usually schedule a launch call for new clients on Mondays. So we'll just pick a Monday that's coming up and we'll schedule your launch call. And then I'll send you your first month invoice and we'll get you kicked off.
Awesome. Hey, it's been really awesome talking to you.
I really appreciate it. You got my number. Hopefully we'll do some business together, but hopefully you can find some good people to work for you too, because that's one of the main pieces. So
I know.
Good luck, man. I hope you can find somebody good.
All right. Awesome, Ruben. We'll be in touch. I appreciate talking to you. It was really great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
All right, man. Have a good weekend.
You too now. Thanks.